On the eve of NFL free agency, and we have it all covered here on The Real Sports Talk. I'm Tim Kelly, joined as always by Justin Godsey. And Justin, today the two best teams in the NFC West both got a little bit better at the receiver position, adding in two guys who have had very productive NFL careers to this point. We will begin with the Seattle Seahawks acquiring Percy Harvin from the Minnesota Vikings, and really it just got to the point where Percy Harvin became a distraction with Minnesota. He was reportedly benched for the remainder of the season at the end of the year. It originally was said that he was benched because of injury, but it came out later that that he had exploded on Leslie Frazier numerous times. He had done that in the past to Brad Childress. And there is some negative and some baggage that comes with Percy Harvin. He has trouble staying healthy. He has the migraine problems. It's not perfect with him. That being said, they did give up a first-round pick because of all the potential he has and what he can do for this team, and that is stretching the field. And you add him into a team that features Sidney Rice, Zach Miller, Marshawn Lynch, Golden Tate. It's an offense that, Marshawn Lynch is getting close to 30, so running back-wise, they're not in a position where they have a ton more years with him. But as far as the receiving core and the quarterback, they have a nice core built up here, and this is scary what this team could potentially be for the next few seasons.
Yeah, when you look at this deal, I really enjoy it because when you look at this offense, adding Percy Harvin in, it just adds on to what is one fast, one really speed type of offense for this squad. Because like Tim said, you got Russell Wilson at quarterback, you got Marshawn Lynch at running back, and then you're adding in another speed, another fast receiver in the receiving core, and that is in Percy Harvin. Now, Percy Harvin, it was also announced that due to the way that Christian Ponder has played, Percy Harvin wanted out, so he really was not really connecting well with Christian Ponder. This is a receiver. Percy Harvin has been under Ponder, Donovan McNabb, Joe Webb. Under
Brett Favre. He's been under Gus Frerotte. He's been under a ton of people since he's been there. Now, Adrian Peterson said this of the trade. He said, the best all-around player that I've ever seen or you'll ever see goes to Seattle. I feel like I just got kicked in the stomach several times. I wish my boy Percy nothing but success. God bless you, homie. And I know that ultimately this might have been the best move for this team, but if I'm Adrian Peterson, I'm sitting there and just thinking, this team better get me some help. They better give me some replacements because the two best receivers that have been in my time of being in Minnesota, they're both off in Seattle now in Percy Harvin and Sidney Rice. Now, Seattle makes that great move, but the 49ers counter pretty damn well by acquiring a guy who tore them up in the Super Bowl and tore everyone up in the playoffs, and that is Anquan Boldin. Boldin was reportedly given an ultimatum that he either had to redo his contract or he would be released. And I don't think that this team could have afforded to just release Anquan Boldin. He meant too much to him. So they come to terms to trade him to the team that Anquan Boldin helped to beat in the Super Bowl, and that is the San Francisco 49ers. They only get a 6th-round pick in return, so that essentially, in most years, means nothing. Now, guys like Alfred Morris were 6th-round picks last year, but for the most part, it was just a clear cap space. That's what they do. They get cap space now. If you're the Ravens, to replace or to try and bring back Donnell Ellerbe, bring back Ed Reed, bring back Paul Kruger. They gave Joe Flacco the big money. But I'm really, before we get to the 49ers side of this, looking at the Ravens side, I'm really beginning to question if this is even a playoff team next year, because Anquan Boldin to me meant more in 2013 or 2012, 2013 to the Baltimore Ravens than what a guy like Ed Reed did. I think the leadership, the experience, and the fact that when they needed a big 10-yard reception, Anquan Boldin was the guy there making those receptions. I think they made a mistake.
Yeah, when I look at this deal, there's multiple ways that this Ravens team can go at the receivers position because, we have the NFL draft coming up in April, and you know what? Trading away Anquan Boldin, they didn't get anything surprising in return. We would at least think like a high draft pick. This team, all that they got in return is a 6th-round draft pick. Now, the Ravens, who have the last pick in the draft, and they could possibly use in that draft pick to go out there and draft a wide receiver. There's a great set of wide receivers in this draft. You got Cordell Patterson, Tavon Austin, Keenan Allen. Those are the guys that top the top three. Now, when you look at the medium rounds, like near where the rounds were, the Ravens will go. They can get DeAndre Hopkins, Quentin Patton out of Louisiana Tech, Terrence Williams. I think this team going into the first round, they have a great offensive line. Don't get me wrong. Then you got to go out there and re-sign, Ed Reed, try to get back Bryant McKinney. And I think what their main focus is going into the draft is getting another receiver, because when you look at it, Jacoby Jones, he's going to wow you a lot, but this guy is mainly used on special teams. Then you have Torrey Smith as your next main guy, and then they have the other, mediocre type of receivers like Tandon Dallas out of Indiana, Deontay Thompson, Laquan Williams. There's just not a lot of depth after getting rid of Anquan Boldin. So, I think the smart move right now for the future right now for this Ravens team is to go into the NFL draft, look at who is taken in the rounds as a receiver. Austin, Patterson, and Keenan Allen are going to end up getting drafted in the first round. But yet, when the Ravens are on the clock come April, you really want to look at what they're going to be really looking for at the receiver position. I think they're going to end up taking Terrence Williams out of Baylor in the first round, because you know what, this guy is a really explosive receiver. He's fast, and he can really adapt to how the Baltimore Ravens offense works.
I honestly think unless Joe Flacco plays at the level that he did, close to the level that he did in the playoffs, and is really an MVP candidate next year, he plays at the level of Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. If he doesn't do that, I really don't think the Ravens are a playoff team. I think that this has become the Bengals' division to win. The window, at least for the time being, on the Ravens may have closed. Now, they have a great quarterback to build around. They have a very good running game, so we'll see what happens. But for the 49ers' perspective, they let Randy Moss go, but you add Anquan Boldin into a team that has just as a very, very good offense, features Frank Gore, Vernon Davis, who you can line up as a wide receiver or as a tight end, Michael Crabtree. It's scary. And then you remember that while you're losing Deshaun Goldson in all likelihood defensively, you still have an extremely stacked defense. Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Justin Smith, Alden Smith, the list goes on top to bottom. It is a stacked team still. And to add Anquan Boldin, Anquan Boldin is just a winner. And to add him into this team, I think it might be the move that ends up putting them over the top. I think that adding Percy Harvin in might make the Seahawks the more fun team to watch, but in the end, adding Anquan Boldin in might make the 49ers the team to watch win the Super Bowl.
I agree with you also like that, but when you look at the offense and how the ways that Baltimore and San Francisco runs, and they both have two scrambling quarterbacks, and a lot of you guys are comparing Colin Kaepernick to Tim Tebow and how he plays. Don't even bring that up. Colin Kaepernick is a quarterback that, yes, he likes to run a whole lot, but he still produces when it comes to the passing situations. And you know what? The 49ers are still looking to add on some more depth to this team, because when you look at last year, right now A.J. Jenkins, a guy who I think he was drafted last year, A.J. Jenkins was just not the guy that we thought we saw in college. He was injury all of last year, and they went out and they got Mario Manningham, who's still on the team. And you know what? I like the move a whole lot. I think the 49ers are just setting themselves up to make a big Super Bowl push next year. I think this team has the offense, has the defense to go out there and repeat and go back to that Super Bowl.
I believe that we're looking at the two best teams in the NFC right now, to be quite honest with you. Look around. The Atlanta Falcons can make a case. The Giants are going to be a team to watch. The Cowboys can make some noise. The Saints can do some things. But I think we're looking at the two best teams in the NFC right now. The Packers can certainly do something. But right now, Seahawks 49ers, after today's big moves, they are my top two teams in the NFC. Those are the big moves of the day. Anquan Boldin headed off to the San Francisco 49ers. And then Percy Harvin is headed off to the Seattle Seahawks. What do you guys think on the moves? Please subscribe above. Share this video with all your friends, because people want to react. And stay tuned, because we're going to have great free agency coverage, MLB previews, NBA playoff coverage when that comes around. And right now, Akeem is killing it for the World Baseball Classic. So check those videos out as well. For now, I'm Tim Kelly. He's Justin Godsey. We'll catch you guys next time.